All right, here we go. And thank you guys for again showing up today for the presentation on how to create epic lead magnets your customers or prospects can't ignore. And this topic's relevant now because I think the social media landscape especially is becoming very noisy. So people need to find ways to kind of cut through that noise. And a great way to do that is via a lead magnet. And we've tested hundreds of different lead magnet topics for us as well as our clients, and we've kind of got a secret sauce as to the recipe to create the best lead magnet that's going to get the lowest converting lead and or the lowest cost lead and highest percentage click-through rate. So we'll get into that today. Okay, so first and foremost, I'll give you guys a kind of high-level quick overview on why I'm here talking about lead magnets. I got into marketing back in 2007 when I started a band in Japan. And through that experience of playing in different venues throughout Japan over the course of a couple of years, I come to realize that I like marketing the music a lot more than performing and making the music. So for me, that was kind of my epiphany that marketing is the direction I need to go. So when I came back to Canada, I joined a marketing company and then founded an online radio station to kind of fill that void of playing music that I no longer had when I came back to Canada. And that was done back in 2014. And then I started my social media agency back in 2016 called Fresh Crowd. And we serviced over 100 clients in our first year of social media management. This is back in 2016 when social media was still cutting edge. Nowadays, if I call anybody about social media management, I'm probably the 38th person who's called. So it's definitely a market that's become a little bit saturated, but I was fortunate enough to get in at an early point to be able to propel my agency to where it is today. Now, in 2019, I merged Fresh Crowd with an SEO company called Casio to form Merged Media. 2020 launched the Merge Marketing Podcast right before the pandemic started. And now we're servicing numerous clients and numerous niches for all digital marketing. We act as kind of like the outsourced marketing team for our clients. Now, we have this guy. It's going to be a main topic of conversation for us today. If you don't know who that is Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook. And the reason why we're talking about Facebook and Instagram today, or what we could call in 2022 is Meta, is and all the platforms under Meta it has the most attention. There's the most attention on those platforms. And you can see in the graph there, even in 2022 Q1, there was still growth of 3% quarter over quarter, which is quite remarkable, especially with the history that Facebook has had with Cambridge Analytica and people boycotting Facebook. There's still growth. And as long as there's attention on those platforms, I'm going to continue to talk about those platforms. Next year at this time, I could be talking about TikTok. But for now, we're going to talk about Facebook and Instagram. You're looking at 2.94 billion monthly active users. Those are a lot of people that are checking their Facebook on a monthly basis, and 1.96 billion daily active users. And the fastest growing demographic on Facebook and Instagram are the women and men that are about 60 plus. So if your target audience is within that age range, then Facebook and Instagram is still a good platform for you to be using. Now, as we talk through this presentation, I want you guys to think about the social state of mind. Okay. We want to use social media as a way to kind of lure people off of social media. I know it might sound strange, but people are unfocused, they're distracted, and they're overstimulated while they're on Facebook or Instagram or any sort of social media platform for that matter. They're looking for the next best piece of content. So you have a very short period of time to get their attention. So we want to get them into your ecosystem and off of social media and get them to a place where they're focused and attentive and they're interested. And does anybody know where that place might be? Well, if you said email, you would be correct. We want to get them to a place where it's the right time, the right place, and the right message. And when people are in their email, they're focused and they're attentive. They have one email, they're opening it up and they're focused and they're not on to that next piece of content as they would be on like a TikTok, right? We want to make sure we get them in a position where they might be they might be thinking about making a business decision, or might be thinking about, you might be better to address that pain point that they're having within their business that your product solves. Okay, so we want to make sure we're getting them over to email. So we're going to get them off of social media into email. And the best way to do that is by using a lead magnet. Now, one of the cool things here, I got to speak at the AdWorld conference this year on this very topic. And following that speech at AdWorld, I had the Journal of Brand Strategy reach out to me, and our company, Merged, is going to be writing a paper for the Journal of Brand Strategy on this topic, given the research that we've garnered from the amount of lead magnets that we've created and produced and distributed. And this is kind of the secret sauce that we've generated for creating those lead magnets that customers simply can't ignore. Now, before you think about the lead magnet, you need to be cognizant of the awareness level that your prospect is at in their journey. Okay, so somebody that is unaware is somebody that doesn't even know your business, let alone the product that you have exists. So if you're creating a lead magnet geared towards that audience, it's going to be a very different topic than a lead magnet targeting an audience that is solution aware, okay, or problem aware. Problem aware is they know they have a problem. And then solution aware is knowing that you have the product that solves that problem. And then product aware is a specific product that you have that fixes that pain that they have. And then most aware is they know that they know your company, they know you have the product that exists that fits their need. Now it's just a matter of pushing them over the edge to purchase that product. And that's making them most aware. Using testimonials and things like that are a great way to nudge them over the edge to become a client of yours. But today we're just going to talk about these 4 pillars that creating that lead magnet that those customers can't ignore. There are 4 pillars that we go over here today. Okay. And typically you want to probably present people that are solution aware with the lead magnet. We find that's the best one. So if you know that they're aware of the solution, you just need to position it so you're the subject matter expert in that area. Okay. Pillar number 1, you need to think about the people that the lead magnet would benefit. Okay. Is the target audience defined without being too niche? So what I'm going to give you here is 2 examples of lead magnets that we have created. One of these lead magnets performed very well, and one of these lead magnets flopped. I want you guys to take a look at these 2 lead magnets, and I want you to make your guesses. Okay. First one, a legal checklist for starting a business in Ontario. We're targeting entrepreneurs in Ontario. And the second one was 5 must-haves before reaching retirement age, parent edition. And that was targeting parents nearing retirement. I want you guys to take a moment there, make your guess. Is it A or is it B? The answer, A. A legal checklist for starting a business in Ontario was a great performing lead magnet. And one of the reasons for that was because it was targeting entrepreneurs in Ontario. A very big pool of people are being targeted with that specific lead magnet. The second one, 5 must-haves, parents nearing retirement, is just a very, very small pool of people that you're targeting. And anytime on social media, when you're targeting a very small pool of people, more times than not, your lead cost is going to be through the roof. It's going to be expensive. Mind you, you might have a bit more quality there, but that's not the purpose of this strategy. It's not to generate a high quality lead off of social media. It's to generate a low cost lead. And we'll get into that later on and why we're so fixated on that low cost lead and not high quality. Okay. The second pillar is the applicability of the lead magnet's content. Can the reader use this now, or is there additional work that needs to be done? Here are 2 examples. First one, 7 financial strategies for real estate agents. We're talking about strategies. The second one is 5 easy exercises for learning English as a second language. And that's using the term exercises. Now, out of those 2, and I'm going to call somebody out here. I'm going to call out Gord. Which one of those do you think performed really well? And which one do you think flopped?
I'm going to say that the 5 easy exercises did well.
5 easy exercises. Okay, let's go over to Desmond. What do you think?
Well, I guess I'm left with the other one, which I was going to choose anyway, because from what you said earlier, it's targeted to a specific audience. It's a big audience, and it's something that might help them boost their business, so they may see value in it and they can use right away.
Great guesses. You know what? It's funny. You can go either way with this one, but you're going to be interested in the answer on this one, because for that one there, it's actually 5 easy exercises was the one that crushed it. Yeah. And I'll tell you why. And this is 9 times out of 10. I would say 9.9 times out of 10. This is always the situation. It's that simple word that you use. And exercises versus strategies. The minute somebody sees the word strategy in a lead magnet, they know there's work to do. They know there's work to be done. And remember, there's a short attention span on people on social media. So you need to make sure that those words that you're using are selected very carefully, because people want answers now. They don't want to have to wait. When you say the word strategy, it's work. Okay. Exercise, tips. These are words that work really, really well and generate a low-cost lead, because people know it's something that's kind of snackable. They can consume it in like 5 minutes and they can get on back over to social media, right? We want to disrupt that experience as minimal as possible, okay? So, and this is across the board. Anytime you use the word strategy, lead cost is increasing. Now, I'm going to caveat that by saying that this may be more applicable on LinkedIn, where people are a little more business focused. They're looking for tips and tricks and things like that on LinkedIn to better their business. In that case, the term strategy or the word strategy may work better, but on Facebook and Instagram, it's definitely exercises and tips. Now, pillar number 3, the relevancy of the data in the lead magnet. Is the content timely, or is it timely poor or timed poorly? This is important, because you got to think about what that user is going through when they see that ad presented to them on social media. Here are 2 examples. 1, why you should consider building a modular home in 2021. It's good content, right time. How to prepare your dental practice for sale. Good content, niche time. One performed really well. One didn't do so hot. We're going to go over to Wade Ryan on this one. Wade, which one do you think did well of these 2? You're muted. Number 1. He says number 1, why you should consider building a modular home in 2021. Jabril, what do you think?
I think how to prepare your dental practice for sale.
All right. We got conflicting answers on this one. The right answer is Wade, why you should consider building a modular home in 2021. This one was one of the best converting lead magnets we've ever had. And one of the reasons for that is it's good content at the right time. It's not only a massive audience. With this specific campaign, we're targeting baby boomers looking to downsize and that are living in Toronto. Okay, so if you think about that audience, if you know anything about the Toronto real estate market, it's very expensive for a bungalow and very expensive for any sort of real estate in Toronto. So an interesting option is a modular home on a piece of land hours away from the city. So it's an interesting idea. So by targeting that specific audience, which is quite a big pool of people, with this novel idea, it generated leads at a cost of about $1.50 a lead off of Facebook and Instagram, which is amazing. So for them, they were obviously super happy with that. They have a ton of leads that they can put into their email nurture sequences, and it worked really well. The other one, on the other hand, how to prepare your dental practice for sale. It's great content, great lead magnet topic. You're going to get quality leads coming in with something like that. But a dental practice looking to sell is such a niche time. There's a lot of dental practices out there, but only a small percentage of them actually care about selling their practice. So you're creating a very small audience at a time that's not relevant. So a lot of those dental practices that are seeing that lead magnet are not interested in that topic. Okay, so make sure that topic that you create is relevant to your audience at the time you create it. Now, last one, pillar number 4, the emotion that the lead magnet evokes. Could this topic work in small talk, or is it too focused on productivity and work? You want the topic to be kind of sexy or interesting, something that you would actually go to the bar and talk to somebody you don't know about that topic. That's super important. Remember, it's social media. People are not looking for boring or lame topics. They want things that are sparking their interest and stopping them from scrolling through that news feed. In this case here, we have 2 examples. 3 essential checklists for workplace safety. It's practical and work related. And then the second one is how we can positively impact our daily lives with compassion, compassionate and caring. I think this one's a no-brainer. Obviously, it's how we can positively impact our daily lives with compassion. It's a very great topic for social media. Many people are interested in something like that. And it's something that you can consume quite quickly. 3 essential checklists for workplace safety. Not a great topic for Facebook and Instagram. A much better topic for LinkedIn. Okay. Now, you got to remember, you want to give people what they want, not necessarily what they need. That's the key. Okay. People plus applicability plus relevancy plus emotion. You cover those 4 in your lead magnet topic. You're going to have a much higher link click-through rate and a much lower cost per lead. And that's what we're going for here. Those are the 2 key metrics for generating that topic that converts best. Here are a couple of examples of before and after. Here is one here. This is an accounting firm specifically focused on dentists. And they had a topic, how to prepare your dental practice for sale, which we talked about a second ago. We kept everything the same in terms of the audience size. Everything remained the same except for the topic. And the topic we changed to 5 money-saving tips for dentists. Just by changing that topic, we cut that lead cost in half from $26 a lead to $13. Now, you might be sitting there saying, well, that's expensive. That's an expensive lead cost. Keep in mind, we're targeting dentists. So it's a very niche audience, and dentists in Ontario, for that matter. Okay. So, but the point here is that we cut that lead cost in half simply by changing the topic of that lead magnet. Second example, the essential checklist for former athletes, arcs, blind spots, and roadblocks. And that lead magnet generated leads at $7.08. And this was for a coach that specifically focused on ex-athletes. So kind of a niche audience, but the goal was to get them into the ecosystem. And from there, we changed that topic to 4 tips for finding success after sports. Just by changing it and following those 4 pillars that we talked about, tips, remember the word tips, getting off of strategies and things like that, having that number in there as well. So you know this is something you can consume in a couple minutes. That's very important. We were able to slash that lead cost to $4.47. Okay. Now, the next step, once you get that lead off of social media, and we touched on this earlier, right? Like it's great that we want high volume, not necessarily the highest of quality, because high quality means high cost. We want to get them off of social media to a place where they're focused and attentive, and that's an email. And that's immediately once they opt in, you're going to want to put them through a short nurture sequence, which is further positioning you as a known, like, and trusted source in your field. Here's how and we're going to go over this very high level, how to develop a nurture sequence that turns those browsers into buyers. First of all, email 1, introduce the white paper. You're going to want to make it brief, okay? They're there just to get the white paper. People are not reading emails these days. They're skimming, okay? Give them what they want. And each of these emails should not be an email long enough that somebody needs to scroll. Literally 2 to 4 sentences, give them what they want, and that's it. Okay, make it quick and simple. Email 2 is a reference email. In this one here, you're going to take a small piece of content that you talked about in that lead magnet and go deep on it. Okay, expand upon it. Okay, talk a little bit further about it. Like a great example of that, the modular home example. Well, why to consider a modular home? Well, I think cost is obviously an important one. So dive down deep into cost and how affordable it is for that specific modular home and how to purchase it up north. Okay, so that kind of thing is very important. Just pick out one of those key points. Email 3 is the educational email. This is where you're going to address that pain point of the audience and connect it to one of your offerings, okay? You're not selling them yet. You're not being too direct, but what you are doing is making that connection, making them product aware, okay? That you do have a solution, but really you're kind of almost guiding them along there and letting them know what they can do themselves to solve that problem. And then, hey, by the way, we can do this for you. Okay, the conversion email is a little more aggressive. Email number 4. This is where we're going to push for engagement. We're going to get them to maybe take a quiz. Those are very engaging. Obviously, getting your audience, giving you some intel on that specific lead. That's always helpful. You can also push them to a Facebook group. That's always helpful if you happen to have a Facebook group or a page or even your website. Okay. We also would encourage clients at this point to maybe drop a Calendly link, book a time in your calendar. More times than not, most people are not going to go ahead and do that. You need to provide a lot more value. Also, let them make the decision that they want to contact you instead of pushing them into that decision. All right. So if you can kind of convey that in email, that's always going to be better for that customer journey. Okay. Number 5 is that win back email. Show the benefits of your service. This is where you're going to be dropping testimonials, success stories, examples of work you've done. This is a great time to drop some of that because now you're making them the most aware. All right. You're making them aware that you have the product that addresses the pain point, but also you are the reputable solution to deliver upon that product or service. Okay. Here's just I'm a visual guy. I love my visuals. Here's a visual breakdown of it. During those first few emails, you're specifically just increasing that known, like, and trustability factor. Okay. You just want them to know you're there, make them aware that you exist, and get them to know and like you. Because once we get past those first initial emails, that's where we're going to pivot a little more aggressive in our pitch and start trying to convert them from browsers into buyers and paying customers. Now, here's the funnel. This is the nuts and bolts of how you piece everything together. This is the part of the presentation where you're going to be using Facebook and Instagram to be able to create that funnel for your clients, okay? First of all, you're going to want to create audiences, okay? This is very important, is selecting the right audience. A lot of people talk about doing all this customer research, which is important. It's important to do your research in the audience that you're targeting for messaging purposes, but in terms of the actual platform itself, Facebook has a lot of data on your audience. They know the books they read. They know the influencers they follow. They know whether or not they have a tendency to click on content and convert on content. They have a lot more information on your clientele than you probably do. Okay, so we can use that to our advantage. So one great example that I would suggest is if you have a customer list or a lead list, submit that into Facebook as a custom audience and tell Facebook to create a lookalike audience. So what Facebook does is they scan those 2 billion profiles on Facebook and find similar users to those people on your lead or customer list. Okay. So rather than trying to do all this interest-based targeting, you can tell Facebook to just find people with those similar attributes and behaviors to those people on that list. Super powerful. You can create all sorts of different types of lookalike audiences off of that lead list, lookalike audiences off of people that visit your website, lookalike audiences off of people that watch your video content. Okay, so there's lots of these types of lookalikes that you can create, which is only going to help us drive down that lead cost. Think about it, right? Like if you create an audience of the people that have become leads on your lead magnet, and then go tell Facebook to create a lookalike off of that, now Facebook's only going to put your ads in front of people that are most likely to download that lead magnet. Okay, so you'll see over time, as you run these campaigns, your lead cost actually decreases over time. That's why whenever we run these campaigns for clients, we always recommend giving it at least 90 days to give it kind of its full course. Okay, because in month 1, you're doing a lot of testing of creative, and then month 2, you're doubling down on what's working, and then you see that lead cost decrease. Now, next, we run our dynamic ads. Okay, this is in that first month. We're testing a lot of different variables from the creative to the copy to the headline. Okay, now here's 3 examples of an ad we're running for a client. One of these ads did better than the other 2. Significantly better. So I'm going to pick one of you guys in the audience here to tell me which one of these ads converted best. Let's go over to Gord. What do you think? 1, 2, or 3?
I'm going to go number 1 this time.
Number one. Okay. Free recipe download. Rosé. Yeah, it's very clear. I love how it kind of blends in the white on white here. I think that's a super effective sort of strategy.
Right.
But what worked best was number 1. You're right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was the one that did work best. I'm surprised you actually called that. Good for you.
It's the free recipe that got me.
Free recipe download. Right. A lot of people pick the third one because aesthetically speaking, it actually looks pretty good. But surprisingly, that one worked best. So obviously we're going to put more of that budget on the winning ad once we decide which one is the best converting. And we're testing typically 10 different creatives 5 different headlines. And the headline is this little piece of text underneath the image. And then we're testing 5 different copies, which is above the ad here. And we'll typically test a couple calls to action, whether it's learn more or download now. Usually learn more works better than the rest, only because people, I don't think, are obligated to opt into anything with learn more. They're just learning more. So that typically works better than the rest. And then here's 3 more examples. This is a real estate company looking to lure potential people from purchasing in Ontario over to purchasing in Nova Scotia. One of these 3 ads worked better than the rest. Which one do you think performed best, Wade?
Let's go number 3 on this one.
Number 3, the big red box got you, eh? Yeah. Okay. Well,
lured me in.
The best converting one, number 2. Number 2 performed better than the rest. Now, keep in mind, typically what happens when people scroll through their feed is they'll stop at the image because the image captures their attention, but then they'll read that text and that copy at the top. So there's a good chance here. I really think the text on this one was spot on. It says, with countless sun-kissed beaches and boardwalks, enjoying fresh ocean air is part of the Halifax lifestyle. I don't know. Again, I'm not the algorithm. I don't know. I just know that one performed much better than the other 2. Okay. So the point here is really, you don't know necessarily what's going to work, which is why you need to test multiple creatives, headline, and copy. Let the algorithm figure out what works best, and then start doubling down your efforts on those creatives, copy, and headline that do work best. And that's by using what's called dynamic ads in Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, once somebody opts into that ad, they're going to click that call to action button, and they're going to be brought to a page, or not a page, but a form on Facebook. This is important. A lot of people like to grab people off of Facebook and send them to a landing page. That's cool, but keep in mind, you are disrupting that Facebook experience, and Facebook wants you to keep traffic on Facebook. They really don't want you to send traffic off of Facebook. So naturally, your lead cost will be higher when you're sending people to an external page. You got to keep in mind that user now has to go over to that page and manually fill in their contact information, whereas on Facebook, essentially people are just clicking twice. It's a click, and they're submitting their information to you, which makes it very easy for you to get that contact information. This is why you need to be creating those frictionless lead forms on Facebook. The key here is frictionless, okay? Making it as easy as possible for that user to get back to their social media experience. And as you can see here, we have full name, email, phone number. Those are the 3 fields that are auto-populated with Facebook. These are typically, this is the information people have on Facebook that Facebook just auto-populates. The minute you start asking additional questions, for example, like address or budget or things like that, where people have to manually input information, your lead cost is going to increase. But again, keep in mind, we want that low-cost lead to put them through that nurture sequence, because the nurture sequence is going to close. A great way to look at the lead magnet, it's essentially like you're fishing, and the lead magnet is your bait. And depending on what kind of bait you cast out there, it's going to attract a certain user. So always keep that in mind. Now, if you have any questions about lead magnets, or you want this done for you, this is essentially what we do at Merged Media. This is one pillar in our business, is creating lead magnets, nurture sequences, Facebook ads. We also do SEO and Google ads as well, but this presentation was specifically geared around those services. And we're happy to help. Going over to merge.ca, provide your contact information, and we can have a discovery call to kind of decipher what could be a great lead magnet for your business. If nothing else, let's connect over on socials at jhuntofficial. And if you want to check out my podcast at Merged Media, again, thank you guys for showing up, and open up the floor to some Q&A if you guys have any questions.
I'd just like to say great job, Jay. Thanks for all the help.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for showing up. And I do think, I mean, even for each of you guys, I think this is definitely relevant that you guys can create this for your business. And keep in mind, in terms of budget, a lot of you might be thinking, well, what kind of budget do I need to invest in something like this? And you can be as little as $10 a day on Facebook, $300 a month roughly, and you can start generating leads. It's really up to you. It's like a tap. You know what I mean? Like we have clients that spend upwards of $150 to $200 a day just to generate leads for their funnel.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, these are leads that you're always going to have. If Facebook shuts down tomorrow and you lose all your followers, you're always going to have that email list.
Jay, thank you. That was great, and I liked the high pace of it. I'm not sure I understood every step, but it was good. When you're advertising on Facebook, do you need to have a business page on Facebook, or you don't need any face on any page?
Yeah, you will need to have a business page on Facebook. Yeah, you can't. That essentially is going to allow you to run ads on Facebook.
Okay.
Just having a personal page isn't going to do it. Facebook really wants you to keep those things separate. What you are going to want is you're going to want a business account. You're going to want to set up a Facebook business account. You can just Google Facebook business account setup, and it'll have your answers for you. And then from there, you create what's called an ad account, which is under your business account. You'll tie that into your business page, and then that's how you run your ads. Desmond, do you have a Facebook page set up for your business at all?
No.
My suggestion would be setting that up. You definitely want to set up a business page. It'll take you 5 minutes. Doesn't take a lot of time. Just fill in the required fields, put a cover photo and a profile photo there. And what we always suggest is if you want to get some likes on your page, you can run a like campaign at like $2 a day and just let it run. And Facebook will just continue to get likes for your page. We do that for ourselves. And that's just good for social proof, because if you're running an ad and somebody goes to your page and they don't see anybody likes it, there's not going to be a lot of social proof there.
Okay, thank you. I can't remember who it was, but chatting to someone recently, they told me the opposite. That's why they said that you can be an advertiser on Facebook. You don't need to be a customer of Facebook, but I don't know.
You need to. You can be unless somebody else is making that page for you. You can only run ads through a business page. There's no other way to do it. You can't do it through a personal page. You definitely need to have a business page. Even if you're only running ads on Instagram, you still need to connect that to some sort of a business page on Facebook.
Well, thanks for clarifying that, because I don't know the answer, and clearly you do.
Yeah, I'm curious who would give you that information.
No, I can remember.
No worries. Awesome.
Hey, Jason.
Yes.
I was curious to know, is that something you also do on LinkedIn, or it's only Facebook that you're limited to?
No, we do on LinkedIn as well. We have done lead magnets on LinkedIn. I would say probably 90% are done on Facebook and Instagram, because the goal of it is to generate a low-cost lead. So the ones that we did on LinkedIn, great example I talked about there was the checklist, the workplace checklist for health, for workplace safety. That one we ran on LinkedIn, had a much higher cost per lead. But again, like the strategy, if you wanted to run lead magnets on LinkedIn, by all means, I would probably put a little more emphasis on you're going to get better quality. But again, you're going to pay a high cost. And the reason for that is the pool of people on LinkedIn is nowhere near the pool of people that's on Facebook and Instagram, right? And keep in mind, if you're ever going to advertise on LinkedIn, don't ever advertise on Saturday and Sunday, because LinkedIn will take your money, but they're not going to serve your ads to many people. I don't know about you. I'm never on LinkedIn on a Saturday or a Sunday.
You know what, Jason, I'll tell you what if you're running a recruitment business?
Yep.
And, you want to get your candidates, you want to attract your candidates. And then you say, look, here's the employment, here's the job in a specific vertical. And the candidates, because the candidates pool is what you want to attract the best talent. What happens there? Would Facebook be the one that stands out, or LinkedIn?
Yeah, great question. We work with a client in the recruitment space, and in terms of that, because you're right, because the behavior of people on LinkedIn will be searching for jobs, right?
Yes.
So it seems like their mind's in the right place in terms of that, that product, person fit, product user fit. But in terms of running ads on LinkedIn, I don't know if that's not a lead magnet per se. I think you're really promoting the position to try to get candidates. But in terms of Facebook actually has a really good recruitment part to it. I don't know if you ever tried to advertise for a job on Facebook at all, but you can do that. And we own a piece of a landscape company. So we've done that for the landscape company, where you will get a good amount of candidates coming through Facebook at a relatively low cost. You just would need to set up it a little different. You set up that ad a little bit differently. If you have any questions about that in terms of setting that up, I'm more than happy to help lead you in the right direction. But if you Google, how to advertise a job on Facebook, there's a lot of resources out there for that.
Okay. Is there any way you could send us the recordings of this webinar to all of us, just so that, we can refresh our minds. And
Of course, yeah. And my apologies for whipping through that pretty quickly. I should have probably asked the level of Facebook experience you guys all had in the room. I just kind of breezed through it. But again, I will send this recording over to you guys. If you guys have any questions or need some clarification on what I went over, just definitely hit me up on my email.
awesome. Thank you, Jason, for your time. I appreciate it.
Jason, if there's no other questions, I wouldn't mind asking one more.
Go
So,
for it.
as a business consultant, my target clients are obviously business owners, and probably business owners who've owned their business for, let's say, about 20 years, 10 plus years. The problem with business owners, they don't all hang out on the same place together. Certainly smaller business owners, and smaller being like revenues from, I don't know, $750,000 to, let's say, 5 million. They're not homogeneous. There's not one place that I know they hang out on. I mean, yeah, you could say the Chamber of Commerce website or something, but generally speaking, they're very different people with very different needs and wants. And they, when you've been in business a long time, you're not necessarily looking at things like how to run a marketing campaign, for example. So where do I find these people? Which channel would you use? Basically, which channel would you use?
Yeah, definitely. So, okay. So, because I'm after the same audience, right? Like we work predominantly with business owners, marketing directors, and things like that. So, and we've run a lot of campaigns. We still spend a lot on Facebook and Instagram, roughly about $50 to $100 a day. We're spending on Facebook, Instagram just to generate leads. And Facebook and Instagram is good because, like I said, it's a huge population of people. So if you put out a lead magnet out there towards an audience of it could even be a general audience. Remember that topic that you choose to put out there, if it only matters or is only relevant to the people that are your target audience, and those are the only people that are going to opt into it and receive it in the first place. So that's what, like I said, it's a great bait to put that out there to the audience. We've done it for ourselves, but also we've also offered a really irresistible offer in terms of social media management. And it was a really big discount. It was a video of myself, who's kind of the brand ambassador of the business, talking about why you should choose us to do your social media. This actually, because we did, tested multiple creatives, this one ad got 95% of the traffic. And Facebook will make a decision pretty quickly as to what piece of traffic works best. So my suggestion for you, Desmond, is definitely put your face out there as a subject matter expert. Because you're a business consultant, people are going to choose to work with you because they like you, right? And the only way to convey that your likableness or your likability is to be able to create a video and make it personal. And it doesn't, and by the way, this video that I did literally was me walking around the office with my smartphone. It wasn't high quality. It was just a video. I was just going to knock something off real quick, 1 minute. And that happened to convert way better than every other ad we put out there. So for you, right after this meeting today, pick up your phone, talk a bit about what you do and why you do it. And then boom, there's one of your 10 ads. Okay. And just put it out there and let Facebook decide which one works best. You'll be surprised what actually converts. But this is why I'm maybe a little biased. You asked me the platform. I like Facebook and Instagram because of the sheer volume of people.
Thank you, Jason. I really appreciate it.
No worries. And Desmond, I might be talking to you next year about TikTok. That could be the next platform for you, but that's a whole different beast.
So you've seen me dance then, have you?
Yeah. Yeah, right. Definitely. You know what? It's funny because I had a lawyer on my podcast a little while back, and they crush it on TikTok. And what they do is it's basically he's a talking head. He sits there. There's some sort of a regulatory question or something like that that's hot in the news, and he'll just put it there as a bubble, and he'll sit there and put his thoughts down on that topic, and it works really well. And this is kind of I think right now this is kind of the best B2B play on TikTok would be just answering questions that your target audience has, and just having a quick 45-second video of you explaining it. Right?
Yeah, actually, I was thinking in that. Down that route, but I'm still very much at the planning stage. So yeah, I'm not necessarily TikTok, but I was thinking, talking head, 1, 2, 3 minutes.
And what happens here over time is once you bring more of these people off of social into your ecosystem, these videos would be really better served on like YouTube, and then directing email traffic over to your YouTube channel. You know what I mean? Things like that. So it's just really a matter of just taking the opportunity to get low cost leads off of these platforms with mass amounts of people.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Cool. Awesome. Anybody else have anything else before we tie it up?
It's good.
Awesome.
Great.
Gord, thank you so much, guys. And again, if you want to reach out to me, I have my contacts there. jason@merged.ca is my email. jason@merged.ca. If you do want a copy of this recording, I'll be happy to send it over to you.
Great. Thanks a lot, Jason. I learned a lot on that.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time. We'll see you.
Thanks. Hey, take
Thank
care.
you, Jason.
Good luck to everyone else too.